Hello Internet, so nice to see you. I got a great comment on how to practice for perfect rhythm and I want to answer that.
Play with a drum machine, always. Even when senselessly noodling, always. I tell you from my own experience, let the drum machine run for hours and hours whenever you do anything else at home. Do it a lot. Get up in the morning, start the drum machine with another rhythm and tempo each day. Do that as much as possible. Let it run as much as possible. You do not believe what this does for your rhythm.
Okay, so there are two pieces of advice there and I want to comment on both of them. First one, whenever you practice, use a drum machine. That is not optimal. Let me explain you why. While I am a great proponent of using a metronome or a drum machine when you practice, it doesn't mean you have to use it literally all the time. Indeed, you should actually make it a point to practice with the metronome and or a drum machine. They're equivalent. And I admit the drum machine is better sounding than the metronome, so you're probably going to use it more if it's a drum machine. But you should make it a point to practice with the drum machine, and you should make it a point to practice without the drum machine or the metronome. Why? Because if you use it too much, the metronome or the drum machine becomes a crutch. Then you become unable to just keep the timing by yourself. So you want to use the metronome and the drum machine to make sure you are playing in time, and then occasionally, every day actually, but occasionally in your practice, you want to practice without that support to make sure that you can keep the timing going, to make sure that you are the metronome, to make sure that you can take a specific rhythm and then you can keep going with the rhythm without speeding up or slowing down, okay? And now, of course, I'm talking when I'm doing it, so probably I am speeding up or slowing down, but you want to make sure that you get a good sense of internal rhythm and it's not just following the metronome. So it's a two-step strategy if you want. If you never practice with the metronome, of course the advice is practice with the metronome or the drum machine. So you learn how it feels to follow a set time. But if you already practice with the metronome and drum machine, then make sure you practice without the metronome and the drum machine occasionally, so you know how it feels to keep the rhythm without the metronome, because every musician needs to have this internal clock. And that's the first piece of advice. The second piece of advice that the comment is giving, and by the way, I'm not disagreeing with that notice, okay? I'm just adding more information because it depends who you are. But the second piece of advice is to keep a drum machine or a metronome going on while you're doing other things in your life. I don't know, when you're washing the dishes, cleaning the house, dusting, or when you're studying, or when you are doing anything else that is not music related. On one side, that's great. It's something you could do, and it will sharpen your sense of rhythm. So today you put on a drum machine at, I don't know, 93 beats per minute, and tomorrow you do it at 107 beats per minute, and the day after at 82 beats per minute, and you pick a different tempo every day, or maybe a different time signature every day, so that you just internalize the sound of it. Absolutely true. On the other hand, you want to pay attention on what this does to your mental health, okay? Because I've known a great actually, bass player who was doing this with a metronome, and maximum respect for the guy, by the way, but he had some mental health problem, which he got addressed in time, okay? It was not neurotypical, let me put it this way. And doing this metronome thing was actually making his mental health worse. So, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm a humble music teacher, and so I'm telling you, if you do that, and you like doing it, and you feel in good spirit after doing it, you can listen to a metronome all day long, and it will do good to you, or a drum machine. But if after doing that you start feeling like a bit obsessive, stop doing it, okay? There are other ways to get that kind of solid sense of rhythm. You could listen to music, for instance. It doesn't have to be a drum machine. It could be music, and it could be very rhythmic music, and even if a tempo is changing every song, music will still do that kind of effect on you, okay? So, yes, listen to a drum machine, or yes, listen to music you like, or yes, don't listen to anything if you feel like, okay? It's all good. Those are the point is, the comment was giving very good advice for specific kind of people, but for other kind of people that advice could have been not exactly optimal. Okay, so I'm not disagreeing with the comment. I'm just saying make sure you know who you are and check if those things will work for you. Some stuff work for everybody. Everybody has to work with a metronome before or later. Some other stuff will work for specific kind of people because who you are and what you want to play and what are you in need of practicing in that moment. Okay, so that's it. Now, if you want to get great rhythm feeling and you want to get great rhythm versatility and learn how to play all this stuff, we have a course on my website. I didn't write it, my friend Brian Fish wrote the whole course. It's called Ultimate Rhythm Mastery. You can find it at the link on the top right, whatever it's the right on your screen. Okay, check it out. It's amazing. Okay, and it will help you absolutely get your timing right. This is Tommaso Ziglia of musictheoryforguitar.com, and until next time, enjoy!